Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Marketing Legos Thought Leader interview. My name is Harshit, and I'm the Director of Business Alliances of two amazing marketing SaaS tools, RankWatch and Websignals. And my today's special guest is a brilliant marketer, founder and CEO of a digital agency called Index, which is recognized among the top 200 best agencies in the world, according to Google. Jeremy, a big welcome to you, buddy, and a real pleasure speaking with you today.
Hello, guys. Hello, marketers. How are you guys?
Okay, let's start from the very beginning of your journey, Jeremy. I would love to know what were you like as a young child and how you made your way up to founding your own marketing agency and so many wonderful, solution offerings.
Yeah, well, for sure. Well, as a child, I was probably a little bit, I didn't like authority. So always, I wasn't the best kid at school. I was, smart, but never liked to have teachers and bosses and such. So when I was, I was playing high-level sports, very competitive guy myself. And then finally, when I was in university, I took a job. I was studying communications, and finally, I joined a communications agency at the time. They were doing some web stuff a little bit. And finally, at one point, I decided after I talked to my boss, that was like 2010, a little bit before 2010. And then I come to see the boss, and I tell her, we're going to need mobile campaigns, mobile apps. We're going to need mobile advertising. And she says, well, I don't think that the mobile thing is going to become big. So obviously, maybe it wouldn't have picked up, but I was very convinced. So I said, well, no, here's the plan. I gave her the plan. And finally, she said, all right, I'm going to check it out. And 3 months later, nothing had happened. And I felt we're going to miss the boat on all the great stuff that was happening in 2010. Social media was popping. The mobile trend was growing. There was so much happening. So I said, well, I'll launch my own company. And I launched Index in 2010. And since then, we've been growing. We went from being a smaller company, smaller agency, to really being an important player in Canada in the digital marketing space. And we went from being an agency to now a solution providers. So not just selling all the services that you guys know, SEO, PPC, etc., but also building our own AI platform to help marketers reduce their ad waste and also grow their digital marketing. So the name is ALYA, and we're really trying to reinvent a lot of what we know exists using cutting edge AI. So that's my passion, guys.
Brilliant, man. And when you are in a job role, you're working for someone, it's always a big change to go ahead, found your own company, marketing agency. How did you overcome that? What was the trigger, the kick that made you start your own agency? That's a big leap of faith altogether, right?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. At the time, where I'm from in Canada, I was very lucky to have very good parents. They helped me a lot. So I was in a position where I had no kids, I had no debt. I was just coming out fresh from university. And I was already, I think, very good because I was working on websites myself as a passion on the side. I was working on some side projects. And I also had the access to a lot of some really smart guys at the time. So if you think about, for example, Perry Marshall or Dan Kennedy, some people that were very good in digital marketing and had access to some of their content. So because of that, I decided, well, I can do this and I can do it better. In Canada, I think we're a little bit behind what's being done in the US. So I said, well, if I'm reading stuff that is right now in the US, then I can put it in place in Canada and we're going to be in the cutting edge. So that's why I said, let's do it. At worst, I'm going to be a few thousands in debt, but then I can get a job.
Amazing, man. Let's talk a bit more about the agency side of business of Index. Your main service offerings and the core expertise. Please, can you tell us a few more things about it?
Yeah, well, definitely the agency model has evolved a lot, especially in the last 5 years, I think. It's changing really fast. One thing that is really important for agency owners and people who want to start their agency is that, it's not as easy as it was before. A lot of companies are bringing back internally the services and everything in the house. So now if you want to become, or if you want to start an agency, but also if you're running an agency, you really need to be smart, be very specialized. So I think there's like two main models that emerge: an agency that does everything, but that's very hard because you need to have a big team, and it's really hard to lift off a big team, or you need to be very specialized and be very good at one or two things. So that's why when we started, we were very good at SEO and PPC. That's it. So no social media, no design, no graphic design. Really focus on one thing, and that's how we succeeded eventually, by also hiring people and working super hard. I was working at one point easily 120 hours a week. It was crazy. So it was very tough at the beginning.
Okay. Agency life is tough. Also, Jeremy, I would like to know your opinion. Like, once you kind of like specialize in, say, one or two service offering, make it your core expertise. And, don't you feel, in some scenarios, it puts you in a back foot with respect to that client, because then, that client, the world is moving towards the omni-channel approach.
Yeah.
A lot of things impact each other, like your social signals and do impact, directly, indirectly. Like there's a lot of debate, but yeah, it does impact the SEO as well. Your PR, does impact the SEO angle as well, right? A lot of things are interconnected now, even with your marketing as well, right? Multiple channels. With your paid marketing as well. So don't you think, like, they'll be leveraging other agencies, to do certain channel tasks, and they might want to like have everything in one place, than managing multiple vendors for multiple objectives and multiple channels.
Well, at the size we're at, I mean, we're 20 people here at Index, so I'd say we're becoming a decent size, far from some agencies out there that are like 200, 500 people. But still, we're in this situation now on larger accounts where often there's going to be more than one vendor agency, and there's going to be consultants, and we need to make it work with everybody. But also sometimes we're just going to be working with one customer, and that's going to be doing one thing. But you're right, everything is becoming omnichannel, so it's becoming harder and harder to just say we're going to do one thing. So you need to think about everything today. You need to think about omnichannel, because you say, well, I'm not seeing conversions from Facebook, or I'm only seeing conversions from organic, so I'm not going to do social. But now, no, you need to do everything nowadays. Everything is contributing.
Do you work with like some resources on contract as well for your agency operation, or you got like everyone, from your content writers to like your developers to your strategists of whatever channels you're basically marketing your clients on, everything in house? How exactly?
Yeah, I'd say we do like 95% in-house, so it's very different as well. I know a lot of, I talked earlier about different business models. There's this third business model of an agency where there's like 2 or 3 people in the company and the agency, and then they delegate to contractors and such. And I see that. I think it can work, but it's very difficult after to focus on the quality.
That's true.
Very difficult. So I'd say if you do this, you need to, you're not spending time working on the account as much. Maybe you're just doing the project management, but after that, then you're spending so much time trying to find and running after the providers that you're hiring, and then they're like, oh well, my dog was sick. Oh my, crazy stories. My electricity was down. So then the customers might be mad after, and then they don't do the job, and then the customer says, I don't want to pay. So now you're stuck. You gotta pay. You gotta pay both sides. So sometimes it's painful. So that's the risk of hiring third parties. you can also specialize in one specific vertical. And I think that's key of success in anything, whether you're building SaaS or whether you're building an agency. You need if you focus really on one segment, you're going to do better. When we started, we didn't focus on anything, and I think that was a mistake. And we all the time we do this mistake. So it's better to really think about one persona, one customer profile, and you just focus on that persona, and you ignore the rest. I think that's really a key of success. Here at Index, what we do is we specialize a lot in real estate developers, education, and e-commerce. That's really some of the things we do. At the same time, I mean, there's everything. You can go after chiropractors, you can go after lawyers, you can go after cars. The industry is so large that you're going to find something fit for you, especially if you have a passion for that industry.
Gotcha. And scale of business, like is it mainly like SMEs or even large enterprises you're catering to?
I'd say it's mixed, but when you get to a certain scale, it's really hard to run a lot of small customers. It takes a lot of work. So we don't have the setup to do that. So we prefer to focus a little bit on larger customers.
Gotcha.
So customers that typically will pay 5,000 Canadian dollars to maybe sometimes up to $100,000 per month in advertising. So that's our preferred niche. But obviously, some agencies can pull it off by running thousands of small customers, but that's not us. We focus a little bit on larger ones.
Gotcha. And how exactly like your client onboarding happens, and what system do you have in place for your client management part as well, and timely communication basically?
Yeah. Well, we built our own platform for onboarding customers at the beginning. So we have all our deliverables in our system. So we built like a intranet for our agency that's really, really sweet. I wish we could commercialize it, but I guess every agency is different. So, yeah. But it's really cool, and it allows us really to make sure that at the beginning, all our salespeople in the company sell what the production can do. It's important not to sell something you're not able to do. But even before that is to make sure as well that the process is smooth. They can open the proposal. When they open the proposal, they can sign it easily, and then they can get into the system. And then when it's signed, we do the kickoff with the customer. And once the kickoff is rolling, we start quickly building the campaigns and working on the SEO thereafter. So that's I just say our high-level process, but we're really efficient at it, and you get good at it when it's been 10 years you've been doing it.
Gotcha. And what did you name your in-house CMS?
Yeah, we called it. Well, it's built on a WordPress stack, but it's really sweet what we did. It spent a lot of R&D. We're lucky in Canada to be able to do R&D, and we called it ARPANET, which is the first intranet that's built by the U.S. Army. So we called it the ARPANET. Nice. So it's cool little software that maybe I'm going to show you after if you want.
Yeah, please, would love to. And for your task management, again, like you use your own system, right? For allocating tasks to your internal team.
Yeah, at the beginning we did build one, and then after that we realized the other platforms were getting so good. There's so many. We used Jira for a while. We used the other one, Trello. But right now we're on ClickUp. I think they do a good job. The guys are spending a lot of good time on building their platform. It's not too expensive. So for now we use ClickUp, but we might change it in the future. I think the advantage with ClickUp is that the marketing people, they use it, which is already a good success. A lot of marketing people, they're not organized. That I don't know why, it's just the way it is. And software developers are super organized, and they love to use software like Jira. So I think it's just the right middle between both. So that's why we use ClickUp right now, not our own system. We stopped using it. It was too expensive to maintain the cool features that you have today.
Gotcha. Let's talk about one of your, solution offering, ALYA. and what all core expertise the platform has got, and which market are you basically catering to and positioning yourself, basically.
Yeah, well, ALYA is really for e-commerce, and how it works is you install it on your website, so you have a tag, and you can also connect to Google Ads. So it's very similar to a Google Analytics tags, and you connect. The way we do it, however, is that we access all the raw data from there. So we extract it in a very specific way that we have the granular data that we can do machine learning on top of it. So we have data scientists in-house, and we always try to find new insights and new ways to show the data to our customers after. And from there, we build some really cool features for them. So one of them is we show insights on what actions they should do in their marketing campaigns. So that's our main product, is marketing intelligence. Our other product inside of ALYA that I think is really cool for marketers, and I don't think any people is doing it in this way, is we have a custom intent model that's running, and we give a score to each user who arrives on the website from 0 to 100. And this score, what we do from there is we try to assign it to we say, well, this user is very interested by your product, even though they might not convert. And then from there, especially if you have a lot of traffic, we can build retargeting campaigns, and we can build lookalike audiences from that smaller segment of interested people on your site. And we've been seeing a lot of success with those. Instead of sending your whole traffic, we send just that to Facebook ads, and we've been seeing amazing results, and basically wasting less amount of money for our customers. So
like when it comes to just looking into the parameters of how engaged that particular customer, even though he didn't buy that, that particular user. So what all main KPIs that ALYA basically looks after, just to kind of judge that this is a really good audience and we should build more such audience, drag them up on that particular site?
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of AI. We can use the modern AI that was created in the last years. In Canada is one at the forefront. We have one of the best AI researchers in the world called Joshua Benjo. So we've been using that AI, and really the beauty of AI is that we can look at billions of parameters, and we can do this better than a human would ever do. So our AI, we use only anonymous data, so we're not using anything that's going to circumvent the GDPR or all the laws, the California law, etc. And our AI looks at time of day. We look at what kind of device attributes you have, without identifying you really individually. And we even use the Google Analytics cookie not to create a new cookie. So by using all of this, what we can do is we can look at hundreds of different combinations that then the AI is going to say, well, here's your score from 0 to 100. And we pass that along. We send it to Google Analytics. We send it to Facebook ads, their pixel. And from there, they can improve significantly the campaigns. So,
and Jeremy, tell me one more thing, related to ALYA. So basically, when it comes to the usability and the confidence level. So just an example, say I'm a newbie. I don't understand the paid ads that much. Maybe at a beginner level, right? I do understand the matrix and stuff. But not efficiently handling and managing the campaign altogether. Would ALYA, basically guide me through, and I'll still be way too much usable. I can blindly trust the recommendation and go with it, go with the flow altogether. Or do I need to be a smart marketer altogether and have a good core expertise into Google ads or Facebook ads? And then maybe ALYA would help me scale my operation. With respect to the usability, what's your opinion? And what's your main target audience for it?
Yeah, well, definitely who's our target audience is marketers for e-commerce. If you're doing marketing and e-commerce, you should definitely try ALYA out. So ALYA.ai. And what it does really, the software is It's easy to create campaigns nowadays on Facebook and Google, but what's hard is to scale and to grow the campaigns. But also sometimes you hit a limit and you hit some walls and you say, well, I don't know what to do, how I can optimize more in my campaign. There's a limit. Sometimes you're blocked. And if you're not in a team, sometimes you're not sure what to do more. So that's why we give insights on how you can improve your marketing campaigns, and we improve the quality of data that we're feeding to the pixels. And just by doing that, it can help you get to the next level and continuously getting there. And what's great about AI is that it constantly improves all the time. So we are always getting new techniques, new ways of improving your accounts in the system.
Gotcha. And are you taking any user, feedback basically on the confidence level of the recommendations on this particular tool, or is it more or less, just the input mainly from your, core development and marketing team for this particular area?
Yeah, well, we talk with our users for sure. And at the same time, if you ask a marketer, to marketer A, marketer B, you say, hey, what would you do with this campaign? One would say, stop the campaign. The other say, well, increase the budget. So, it's really hard, marketers, well, you can talk to 10 marketers and they're going to have 10 different opinions. So what we try to do is we try to replicate the way you optimize your own account, but better. So that's what we try to do. And we have a very good success rate and improve the account.
All right. Let's talk about the near future of AI in, especially in marketing, SEO and SEM space. Any new trend or, groundbreaking developments that you're sensing right now?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm in a unique position where I'm really an expert in AI nowadays because I've been spending so much time on it. And I haven't been following maybe social media as much or some other things, but definitely I'm still actively researching every day about new techniques and such in this. And what I'm seeing, obviously, is there's new channels that are coming out. There's the devices keep increasing. There's more and more omni-channel we need to do. Yep. So it's becoming harder and harder to run campaigns for sure. And more on top of that is that the ad platforms, they're more and more using AI themselves. So we have less control as a marketer. Even in SEO, we used to be able to control our title tags and our description tags. And now Google is just deciding, well, let me handle this for you. So we're having less and less control. So we need to take back this control. And I think that's the big trend. So we need to monitor. We need to monitor the AI nowadays. We're like almost, like teachers. So we need to teach their AI systems how to do it, because sometimes they just go crazy and they start spending all your money. So, and if you look at the AI recommendations they do sometimes, they're just ridiculous. So Google does absolutely ridiculous recommendations inside of your Google Ads account. So you just go dismiss, 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 dismiss. That's it. So that's the new trends.
Gotcha. And anything for the near future that you have in plate for ALYA, any new cool features that you're launching?
Yeah, well, really, one thing that's really changing fast in AI, and if you haven't been paying attention, is the content generation. Okay. And right now in SEO, it's very frowned upon, but even in ad copy, we've been seeing a lot more tools that, there's, I won't name them, but there's a million of them nowadays. And most of them use GPT-3, which is the OpenAI, the company that's owned by Elon Musk. And the way he's been building is he's been open sourcing that API, but now Facebook has come in with their own, which is called OPT. And Google just released another one that's even bigger. So by looking at all of those, how can we use those language models to our advantage? And that can help us. So maybe write our meta description, write our meta titles, but the problem is it doesn't feel natural, but it's going to get more and more impressive. But even eventually, I think our AI can even do not only the ad copy, but the image generation as well.
Oh,
So they can even draw for us and find pictures that are going to convert.
gotcha.
Because as a marketer, I don't have time to look at 500 or 2,000 pictures, test them all in our system.
That's true. I think that's gonna be great. Even I've seen some recent development on the front, where people are generating enterprise sites, images, all text, in a go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of thing. That's like really groundbreaking, and
Yes.
anything which can automate or do these kind of tasks in scale definitely is a very big help. Very big help. So
Yeah. The important thing is to keep the user experience in mind. If you're doing it just to save time, it's all good, but you need to think, is that going to harm your brand, the user experience? That's really important. It's to think about the people after your customers. If they feel you lost touch, then, but we're really close to having some really impressive ad copy. So I think we're at a point where we're close to this break point where AI is going to be as good as a human, but not feel as a robot.
much needed, man. So let's switch back to our services specific conversation. Once you get a client on board, what are the common mistakes that you see? These customers make either done by their old agency they partnered with, or their in-house team members when it comes to paid ads. Specifically, like, let's talk about Google ads. What are the common issues that you find?
Yeah. So the common issues, I think the biggest one is, that's the biggest one marketers I think don't do correctly, is to not pass the conversions to your system. I see so many of them, they open an account, they start advertising, but then they are not tracking correctly inside of their platform. So if you don't do that, I mean, you're just wasting money, because again, everything is AI nowadays, especially the big players, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Bing, they're all using AI to improve the system. And what they're looking at the end is to repeat success. So, so they're learning. So they try to find similar customers to the one you generated, and they try to find. So if you're not doing that, you're completely wasting money.
Gotcha. And Jamie, because you do help your clients with the proper analytics setup, the tag manager and whatnot,
Yeah.
right? For the correct reporting altogether, you do have few other solutions for when it goes to the call tracking and all of those stuff as well. One of the biggest challenges that I've seen, and that has been like over the years, is the right attribution. Since you also work with omni-channel approach, like multiple marketing paid channels altogether, leveraging Facebook ads or leveraging Google ads, whatnot, right? How do you attribute and properly, like the conversions to that specific channel? Like any tips around that would be really helpful.
Yeah, well, definitely the attribution is a really tough nut to crack, because of there's a change happening inside of any platform nowadays, and you think you know it, and then it's changing even faster. So obviously the third-party cookie, that's okay, we can live with that, but it's becoming even more complicated, where Chrome is blocking more and more stuff. Then you have Safari, which is also blocking everything inside of the platform. You have Edge now that's starting to block everything, and it's looking at how did this cookie was created? Was it created by JavaScript? Okay, then I'm blocking it instead of it. So soon, we're going to be struggling to track everything as marketers. So I think more and more what we're going to do as marketers is do like TV. How people were measuring TV at the time, and still today, is that, okay, we're going to put $100,000 specifically in June. How much our sales are improving because we spent a little bit more. So you look at this, and I think we're going to start doing this more and more with digital marketing. is not just looking at direct sales, but more looking at micro conversions and then thinking about, okay, what's the end result? Because at one point we're not going to be able to measure anything anymore. You know, iOS and all the stories that we're hearing about.
Yep. The word is shifting towards that. Even there's a few search engines as well doesn't return anything like with respect to the attribution, nothing. So yeah, that's a pain point. But yeah, I mean, then privacy and all of those stuff is again important. So
make sure you do your Google Analytics 4 setup. You got to start doing this by the end of the month. If you haven't done that, just do it now, because you're going to start it's the last month before you get year-on-year data. So just do it.
Let's talk about few more strategies. And one of the important things that I've noticed is aligning your PPC and your SEO goals, and kind of like enhancing the effect. Basically, whatever the goal outcome you want from it. So any tips around that, please?
I think you need to do a strategic plan before you start working. You need to think about what's the opportunity and what makes sense for this customer. And some customers, it makes sense to do some SEO, and some others, it doesn't make sense to do SEO. So you need to think about that. Same thing with ads, and then even PPC nowadays, maybe Google Ads is full. So you need to think about the emerging platforms as well. So I always try to be on the lookout for competition. So you need to use the tools, and you need to do some market research before you start building it. And you need to see, well, can I rank? Because it's becoming harder and harder to rank in SEO.
That's true.
Google is getting smarter in that sense. We were mentioning earlier about generated content, and Google is cracking down on generated content as well. So you cannot do that anymore. So you need to see also about your resources. Do I have a big team to do the SEO? It takes a lot of juice to write content and produce a lot of content that's quality. So maybe sometimes it's easier to do ads. So I think that's why also there's more and more money in advertising and less into SEO, which is sad, because I think it's the best traffic sources, organic traffic.
True. I think even though I've seen the SERP landscape change a lot, but then also not basically witnessing number of blue links reducing, new types of SERP features getting introduced, lot more spaces now being taken up by the Google ads. But then also the organic search traffic that most of the sites get, that, and if they're taking good care of their SEO health and doing the best practices, it doesn't decline. Still, it does improve. So you're still getting value, either by one thing or another, but you just need to be very smart when it comes to the placement altogether. Just see how the SERPs landscape is changing for each one of your targeted keywords. And, you can strategize better. If leveraging, ads make sense, do that. If working on, different type of, making optimization changes on your web pages so that it has the potential to rank on different kind of SERP features, do that, or, just by doing the regular SEO and try to increase the, exposure of the blue link altogether, working on its position. So it has to be very strategic. It has to be, very logical with the, and you can get really good benefits still. So, yep. You just have to combine that first.
People don't do it. You'd be surprised how many people start advertising or don't have a 12-month plan.
Yeah, that's right.
You have a business. You have a business plan. Your business plan is 12 months. You have your goals and projections, and then you don't have it for digital marketing. You need to. It's like people are improvising all the time. So I think that's one of the benefits of working with an agency or people that know their stuff, is that you're not doing 2 months, 1 month, 3 months. No, you're looking long term. Yeah, your business is going to change in the meanwhile. You might get more customers. You might invest more, decrease your investments, but at least you need to have the path that's laid out. That you can see in the long run where your business is going to go.
Gotcha. And Java, I would love to know your SEO process as well, and any automations that you use, specifically for the large companies you cater to. I'm sure, like there the importance is definitely more.
Well, definitely we use a lot of the great tools out there. So we use all the SEO tools to scrape, to look at the positions, to do the competitive research, keyword research, like the Google keyword tool. One thing we've been using more and more nowadays is one thing we've been doing more and more is this Google Search Console. I think they've improved a lot, the Google Search Console. That's great. So use the Google Search Console for your initial research, but also for your monitoring after. They've added new features. They've just added the video indexation, which looks good. They do a lot more now on the snippets, the rich snippets, the semantics SEO.
Yeah.
And that I think is going to be one of the biggest players. Most important thing you need to think about when you're doing SEO in the future is to label your data in a smarter way to give more information. And the companies who do it well, if you look at, for example, TripAdvisor and Expedia, they're in their travel, so Google likes the snippets a lot in the travel field, and hotels, etc. And you look at what they're doing, they have all the extra markup in their site.
Yeah.
And they do it server side, but they also do it in JavaScript. They inject JSON in page, and it's really impressive what they do, and they get all the traffic because of that. So that's the future of any industry, whether you're doctors, you're in e-commerce. Now you see the reviews, the stars inside of the search results for products. Why is that? Well, because they use the JSON markup. Yeah. Shopify is a great platform. It's a Canadian company, but they don't even inject stars inside of the. I mean, that's like SEO 101. So they don't do that. So it's in terms of processes to use the great tools and have a great team that you have a process that's laid out, and you optimize content and you optimize it in a UN way. Not to automate too much. I think automating the research is important, but after that is to do the job. You need to do the job. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of usability, and that is you said it right. That is one of the most overlooked areas. And people should definitely focus on to. But yeah, I mean, coming to the automation, do you use any automation to scale up the operation apart from this, or generating schemas? In at scale, any tool that you specifically leverage for it, or?
Yeah, well, we built our own tool to insert JSON inside of the page. It's really impressive the way we do it. That's one thing we use because we couldn't do it after that manually, for sure. And I saw some cool articles that people trying to do it automatically as well to understand the context, the HTML, the page with Python and stuff like that. So I think that's interesting. But yeah, we use great tools out there. We look at the positions, for example, with SEMrush. We wouldn't be able to do that manually to look at the positions every day. So, and it's important, customers do look at a lot. The other thing we do a lot with automation is reporting. We don't have time to send reports to our customers with manually pulling out data. It just makes no sense. So the thing we do is we use a lot of Google Data Studio with other tools to connect to different data sources. I know there's new and there's other cool tools out there, but Data Studio does most of the job that we do. So they do a lot of the heavy lifting. We like it, and it saves us a lot of time because then we can just send thousands of reports or hundreds of reports every month to the customer, and they like it because they can look at their data. But if we had to manually pull the data, it would make no sense.
So let's I would love your some of your tips around CRO hacks for e-commerce website to boost their sales, and also how ALYA can basically help scale this process and improve user experience.
Well, okay, so one thing is you should try ALYA for sure. I mean, it's a cool platform, and it's going to help you increase your conversion rate, because we're going to be sending more traffic, to quality traffic to your site. And we're ALYA, on the marketing intelligence side, it's really helping you identify some ads that are not working, and then you can stop those, and you because of that you get, again, more quality traffic, and we do it in a very smart way. If you follow most of the advice ALYA gives you, and you don't have to follow all of it, it's going to increase your results. On the other sides, I mean, since we do a lot of SEO and a lot of PPC, you know, we don't do too much web development for customers, but everything that's related to pop-ups, to call to actions, you know, you need to think about that. We're looking at also product recommendation. You need to be smart about your product recommendations in your cards. All those things for e-commerce, it's really important. So we do advise, you know, on our service side of the business, we do advise our customers on how to get that. But at the end of the day, it's really to try to find new audiences and target those audiences all the time, to bring quality traffic to your site, and looking at your landing pages, your top landing pages, and try to optimize those. See how can I change the bounce rate, how can I change the exit rates, so the pages where people exit, and cleaning up your funnel. Try to make sure you don't receive too much direct traffic as well. You know, the direct traffic is something that then you cannot measure. So a lot of that time, the direct traffic is coming from redirection inside of your platform, across the main on your platform. So you fix those, and you can suddenly you understand your traffic way better.
Gotcha.
So those are quick tips, but I mean, get in touch with me, and we can discuss about more techniques.
Definitely. Let's talk about you know, the most successful case study, you know, either your agency side of business had, or you know, some of your solution that did wonders for your client, and some metrics to back that success.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have hundreds. So
you've been in business for more than 11 years, so yep.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, we've had a lot of success in different industries and different customers of all sizes, and you know, I think proud of, you know, really large customers, but it makes you really proud also when there's smaller customers that call you. They say, Jeremy, please turn off my ads. And then, well, why is that? Well, you know, I'm getting too many phone calls. I cannot answer everybody more. So, you know, I had to shut down their ads because they were getting too much calls. And since then, you know, this customer has been with us for, you know, almost 9 years. They joined us in 2012. And so it's amazing when you get those kind of feedback from customers. Specifically for ALYA, one thing I want to say is we saw some customers who were using ALYA, and they were losing money with their ads. They were spending $100,000 per month, and they were losing money. So their cost per acquisition. So they were spending $100,000 to get maybe $80,000. And because of ALYA, we managed to make their ads profitable, and they can now spend $200,000, but they're making way more money. So they increased their return on investment to 300%. So not all because of ALYA, but because of the processes, and also understanding that there's actions you can do inside of your ad platforms that you can leverage. So one other that we helped, a company that had their cost per acquisition at 89 and needed to bring it to $70 per purchase, and we dropped their CPA to 64, which was really good for them because they didn't know what to do anymore to bring their CPA down. So you know, our target with ALYA is really to bring your cost per acquisition down, reduce the ad waste. A lot of companies are wasting so much money in advertising. It's crazy. It's crazy how much money they're wasting.
And the price point that you guys have for this AI solution, that's also like amazing, right? You know, and in return, like the amount of cost, the marketing budget that you'll save for any brand that uses the technology, you know, that's phenomenal. So, you know, comparatively, again, you know, that's way too pocket friendly, I would say, and affordable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're for the amount of time we spent on it, I'd say it's a bargain. But yes, building a SaaS is hard, and there's a lot of great tools out there. So I understand at the same time, you don't have the time to test every tool out there, but really the way we're doing it is we want to reinvent digital marketing in a way that's never been done before. I've tried all the tools, I've tried everything, and one thing is for sure is here at Index, in ALYA, we're really passionate about doing things in a different way that is different than the other agencies out there, different from the other SaaS tools out there.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Any horror story that you would like to share and lesson you have learned? Because agency part of the business is again like big, and when you're into agency, like that's something that happens quite frequently as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, I could go on for hours, but starting an agency is hard, building a team is hard, and managing people is hard as well. So that a lot of people think about the business side, but you need to think a lot about the human side. And it's important to be in the business for the good reasons, which is helping customers out and having really this intention of helping the people out and not just trying to sell a system or something. It's really to understand their business goals and try to work on the business, okay, not just on the cool techniques and such.
I think we're coming to an end here, Jeremy, and I would like to have a quick rapid fire with you. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. If you could travel back in time, what period would you go?
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to see the cool days when the internet was starting. It must have been really cool to hack and be a hacker. I'd probably be a developer if it wasn't for that.
Brilliant. What do you prefer, texting or talking?
Definitely texting. If I can text, save time by talking. I'm an introvert guy. I'll do.
All right. What motivates you to get out of bed in the morning?
I mean, I have a cat, so the cat needs food. But after that, I mean, really, it's about changing and working on marketing every day. It's one of the best jobs in the world, marketing.
And after ALYA, what's something new that's happening professionally in your life?
Yeah, all the time trying to grow, trying to do acquisitions, trying to grow the company. So we're gonna keep building at ALYA. I mean, some of the big players already are interested to buy ALYA, but for now we're just trying to focus, build the best platform out there. So for now, no other plans, but you need to be open all the time.
That's right. That's right. And coming to my last question, what's some of the best business advice you have ever gotten?
Yeah, best business advice is I can give you is work hard. I mean, there's no replacement to that. You need to work hard. You cannot expect to work 2 hours a day and compete with people that are working 10, 15, 20 hours a day. So it's impossible. So that's the best advice I can give you. No matter where you're at in the world, if you specialize and you're passionate, you're gonna do good.
Thank you so much, Jeremiah, for all the wisdom, all the tips. I really appreciate your time here. And I really enjoyed this particular session. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thanks